Hello! For this video today, I am going to show you how I make dinner for the family. And right now, I'm going to make my homemade bread and the bread machine, which if you don't have a bread machine, you should totally get one because they are awesome. So let's start with the ingredients. So it is super simple. This is the little thing that my ingredients go in, and that's what it bakes in. So we do 3 cups of flour, it's hard to do one-handed, 2, 3, then I do 1 1/4 cup milk, and you literally just dump everything in. It's awesome. And I don't get out another measuring thing, I just sort of eyeball it. Okay. Calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar, but I just use 1. Figured the less sugar, the better. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. There is 1. Now I will mention everybody's bread machine recipes are different. And I mean, my bread machine is super old, like, I don't know, from the 90s. I think my aunt got it for me at a garage sale, and it didn't have the instructions or anything, so I just went online and Googled it and found the instructions. And I keep them in this little binder over here, and I've sort of tweaked it, you can see. So I need 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and then I just have to add my yeast. So I will do 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, then at this point, it goes into the bread machine. And the yeast actually goes in this little cup thing up here. I don't really know why it does that, but I think it has something to do with like when the yeast, like when it's mixing it, when it goes in or whatever. Well, I'm not really sure, but 2 teaspoons of yeast. Then mine, I always bake it for less than it says. And so I do the basic, oh, and I always do that too. Hold on. I do the light, and you hit start, and literally that is it. And then I take it out 15 minutes before it's ready to be done. And so I always know that I want to start this 4 hours ahead of time. And right now it is 1:14, so at 5:14 this will be ready. Okay, I am going to show you what we're having for dinner tonight, and I am making, it's called Pizzeria Tomato Soup, and it's out of the new Trim Healthy Table cookbook. So this is a new one for our family. I hope the kids will eat it and like it. It should taste like pizza, so I'm hoping that that's okay and that they like it. So you basically put everything into a soup that you would put on your pizza. So I would put mushrooms in it, but for their sake, I'm leaving mushrooms out. So, you know, when you try a new recipe, hopefully they like it. So here we go. Right now, I have Italian sausage in the pot. So I'm gonna get the heat going. And then it says to add the pepperoni, mushrooms, and we like black olives, so I added that to it. See if I can do this without making a mess. All that goes in the pot together. Okay, and while that is browning up, then I'm going to show you how we make this mixture, which this is going to seem like the weird part to you guys, but that's okay. This is okra, which if you've never had it, it's like a southern thing, but they normally deep fry it. But just by itself, I think it's slimy and disgusting. But it's gonna get all blended up with the pizza sauce. And so it just makes it thicker and it's really good for you. And so we're gonna add a jar of sugar-free pizza sauce. That goes right in. And then it's gonna be 2 jars of tomato sauce. And then we're just gonna get that blended up until you can't see any of the green any longer. And at the top. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, the meat is almost browned, and I wanted to show you this thing. This is my favorite thing from Pampered Chef that I use. And it, like when you're browning the meat, you crunch it all up with it, and it breaks it up really, really nicely. So, I highly recommend this little doohickey from Pampered Chef. So, that's all set. Now, we just pour in this okra pizza sauce, tomato sauce mixture. And obviously that's going to be too thick for soup. So, then we add in a carton of chicken broth. Then I am going to, it calls for either gelatin or collagen. So I'm going to use gelatin, and this is just another source of protein, and it's like good for your joints, and it's like what would come out of like bones for bone broth, I guess. But I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of that. And then I will have to add some water in along with that as well. So that's what that looks like. Then we will come over to the sink and get water. That's the view out my backyard. Okay, so I think for every scoop it's like an additional cup of water. So we'll do 2 cups. 2 cups of water. And then it's gonna be time for the seasoning. So let's just give this a good stir here. It smells exactly like pizza, so I am hopeful that the kids will like this. Okay, I've just added pepper, and I think I've talked about this before. I like the Tri peppercorns a lot better. So I just like the flavor better, but I put that into the pot, and now we need some garlic powder. Put a little bit extra of that because we like that. Some basil and oregano, and all these are just dried. So that and that. And then it also needs just a little bit of salt. Everything in there is pretty salty, so we'll just do a little bit and go from there. And then we like this spicy seasoning from Aldi. It's like a lime, I don't know, it's got little peppers and stuff in it. So we like a little bit of spice, so I'm gonna put that in. Then the only thing left to do is to put 1/2 cup of cream into the pot. It's already at a boil, so then I am just gonna turn it down to a simmer, and it's just gonna simmer until our bread is done. Now for Trim Healthy Mama, I won't have the bread, I will just have the soup, but I like to include something that the kids you know, when I'm introducing a new recipe, I like to include something that the kids for sure like, so that there's something they can eat if they just die and can't stand it. So there we have it. Looks like I got some gelatin and a clump there, so we need to mash that up. So now I'm going to turn the heat down and just let it simmer till our bread's done. Okay, it's time to take the bread out. This is what it looks like when it's done. I'm going to try not to burn myself. And I just dump it on a cutting board. This is always the tricky part. Good. You have to let it sit for a couple minutes so it's not too soft when you cut it. Okay, here's what a bowl looks like with some extra Parmesan on top. And this one is going to Journey. They're already eating their homemade bread and we're serving watermelon with it. There's my empty bowl. What do you guys think of the soup? Jalea, what do you think of the soup?
Tastes like pizza.
It does taste like pizza. Do you like it, Journey?
Yeah.
Yeah? Daddy, you like it?
As usual, my wife cooks so good.
Okay, I think we'll keep this one in the rotation because everybody likes it. Say bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.